Hello YouTube. We bought a Jasion Roamer e-bike at one point, and that e-bike worked for less than 4 months. We had less than 230 miles on it when it stopped working. Additionally, that e-bike was advertised to go between 40 and 60 miles as long as you were pedaling. At the lowest level of pedal assist, it was supposed to go 40 to 60 miles, and it is only able to go 16 miles on a full charge when you were pedaling the entire time. After 16 miles, the e-bike dies, the lights turn off, everything turns off, and you are basically riding a regular bicycle. When I reached out to the manufacturer, they gave me a complex list of diagnostic instructions rather than advising me on who I could take it to for repairs and have it diagnosed and repaired, even though I had just purchased it only months prior. We're going to end up having to pay a $100 diagnostic fee, and I don't know what the parts are going to cost because I don't know what's broken. But every time that we hit the accelerator now, there's a throttle on there, the entire bike shuts off immediately, even when it's fully charged. So that's the issue that we're dealing with, and it's been about 6 to 8 weeks since we rode it because we haven't had a necessity that required us to use that. But I am regretting spending the money that I spent on that because it was more than $700, and it's not worth it. I used to get, out of my top guard that I used to get more than 30 miles worth of range before having to recharge it. And to buy this Jasion that's supposed to be higher rated than the top guard was. And the Jasion is supposed to be made by an American company, but it just ended up being a heavy steel body bicycle that has less than a third of the advertised range. That's ridiculous. Who wants to buy something that doesn't even give you half what's promised? You know, I don't recommend the Jasion Roamer, and I've listed the reasons why. In addition, there's one other thing too I forgot to mention. Jasion Roamer, right out of the box, the rims start rusting immediately. Casual contact with humid air will oxidize the spokes on your Jasion on the front and back tire, and they will turn a crimson sort of orange color within just a couple of weeks with casual air contact, if there is any humidity in the air at all. Just sitting outside under cover on your driveway, if you have a carport or whatever it happens to be, you can't store it outside of a sealed garage or a humidity controlled environment, or it will start rusting all over. The screws that are on the bike are not rust proof. The spokes are not treated to prevent corrosion. It's cheaply made, and it's got a heavy steel body, which tells me that they built it using the cheapest possible steel materials. The top guard, we didn't have rust on the spokes, and we got, before I had to get rid of the first top guard that I had, it had something like 2,000 miles on it. I did have to take it to the shop at one point for repairs. I'm not recommending the top guard either, but Jasion, because of this issue that's going to require me taking it to a shop, Jasion ended up being a terrible investment within just a handful of months and barely a tenth of the mileage that I put on the top guard. So that's the reason why I will not be buying another Jasion bike. And I don't recommend that you buy one either. Customer service was with Top Guard was terrible, but Jasion's customer service, though they provided me comprehensive instructions for how to conduct a diagnostic, a lot of people don't have time to deal with that, to sit there and diagnose and troubleshoot through, well, hey, what might be wrong with this? There's supposed to be customer support for that. They didn't offer me any kind of shop or anything to take it to, you know. I don't know what these e-bike manufacturers are thinking. They sell you a product that's very expensive, and then they turn around and they dump all the responsibility on you to deal with it when it turns defective just a handful of months, or even right out of the box it turns defective. What do they expect us to do? I'm going to have to go shell out $150 or $200 possibly, depending on what's broken. And it may even cost more than that. If it ends up being a defective battery, it might cost more than half the cost of the purchase cost to get it replaced. That's too much. People are better off buying a gas scooter or something if they're going to have to deal with that kind of problem, even when gas prices shoot through the roof. It's ridiculous. Who wants to deal with that?